it's been a confusing week. I think it's about time we pull the Band-Aid off. Starting out Thursday, media advisory went out. 4 USFL head coaches were set to be announced. The final 4. An announcement goes out on Twitter, says an announcement about the final 4 head coaches will be made on the herd. So, I was telling you in the pre-show, I had to do a double take. I said, oh, no, ref. Did you screw up an article? Because that's the worst thing that could happen. Is the worst thing that can happen. But looking at the media advisory, it clearly states all 4 head coaches will be named.
It does.
As it turned out, we waited 1 hour. We waited 2 hours. And on hour number 3 of the herd, how many coaches did we get, Zach?
We got 2.
We
only got half of the deal. Why did we only get half? And it's been the big sticking point on social and on our Discord right now is everyone going, why did they do this? In at least some people's eyes, a bait and switch. Why is there no extra details as to why they're saying it's only 2? I mean, we even on the herd, there wasn't really any reasoning that they didn't say, of course. They said 2 in a crawl, or at least on the like the Chiron, as we're talking about on the bottom banner on there. And that's when people started getting tipped off. And then we got that confirmed that it was 2, even though they said 4 in the original PR release. And oh my God, a mess up.
It's definitely a blunder. And I mean, I think we shelve the what's and the whys for the speculation zone, because I think we got to pack speculation zone. I think what we do, let's jump into the who's. We'll jump into another topic, and then we're going to jump right into the speculation zone and give our thoughts on what we think may have happened. Again, none of this is confirmed what we're going to go. So that's why it's stuck in the speculation zone. Needless to say, stick around. It should be a fun speculation zone.
Yes, it should.
So, I mean, let's look at the positives. So, okay, we only got 2 more head coaches, but hey, that's 50% of the coaches that we still need to learn, right?
Yeah, okay. I bite. Sure. I see what you're doing.
It's a better than 0. When I woke up this morning, you know how many USFL head coaches I thought I was going to learn?
Well,
0.
They did say it was at 9 a.m. Eastern that they did kind of announce it. So it was strange. It was like a roller coaster, because like the 9 o'clock, you see that scroll across your timeline, especially if you have notifications on for the USFL, and you're going, what? Okay, I guess this is happening today. And you're like, all right, here we go. And, we're recording that day of right now. So, and then later on, that's when you get all the twists and turns. Sure, we could say that we weren't expecting anything. That's cool. So that's a positive. I guess if you want another positive, I'll continue that train before I dive down back into my anger and frustration. Because I promised people, I said, I'm going to the gloves will come off on this topic just for how upsetting it is. The other positives, the 2 candidates, they aren't like these big flashy ones that people want, but they're high quality ones for the resumes. And I like them.
May I say, take a bow. You may have got the location wrong.
I know,
but you got Mr. Holtz there, which
I don't know how it happened. I didn't have an inside track to this. It's just deducing some of the people that are available on the market. It's just that he didn't end up on the team I thought he was going to go to, which I'm like, all right, maybe missed opportunity, but you know what? Dude's in the USFL and I nailed it somehow. I'll give a pat on the back. I'm not a guy to do that, but I'll do it once in a while. I'll take this win.
As you should.
Gladly.
As you should. And now we all expect you to predict the next 2.
Oh, hell. So the pressure's already on me. Damn.
So we got Skip Holtz. He's there in Birmingham, which we're going to touch on this in the speculation zone as well, because there's, again, looking at the reasons why we might see a delay, I would have thought maybe it's because they wanted to announce it in Birmingham.
Maybe.
But we got the Birmingham Stallions coach today, Skip Holtz, son of Lou Holtz, as you know, recently head coach of the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs from 2013 to 2021. I mean, this dude's got a long history. Again, looking at the positive, I love this pick. I when you brought it up last week, it was one of those guys that I didn't even think of. And the more I thought, I was like, man, he would be perfect for the league. And so seeing him come in, and hey, you know what? Maybe, Zach, maybe you gave him the idea. Who knows? Maybe those guys over at the USFL and Fox, they're listening. They're like, oh my God, Skip Holtz, get him on the line, because that's not a bad idea. So maybe
Gerald Johnson's on the ot's side. It's like, he's not a bad guy. He's probably all right. Let's see what we got.
So, I mean, what are your overall thoughts on this pick for the Stallions?
Well, yeah. So I'll kind of rehash a few things with how I said it last week on just my prediction on this. Is, I like Skip because of the fact that he's recently let go. He had overall in his tenure with the Bulldogs, overall very successful. He actually is one of the few he has one of the best records for a single season in their school's history. 7 bowl appearances, at least in that case. And he also has a track record with other college programs too, outside of just LA Tech. He fits the bill. The USFL's already been angling itself to be this in-between college pro league. So why not take a guy that has all the college experience like this and give him something that maybe it is to him at least another step forward in terms of professional level? Because in theory, if we're organizing it, the USFL is supposed to be kind of that in-between league. It's not the NFL, but it's not exactly college. It's supposed to be kind of that transfer or that, step of getting right, or maybe making a stardom for yourself in there. So I think him taking that step too was kind of cool, and him being available just is perfect timing. So why not get someone that has that tenure and probably is still a little bit hungry to get back in? I like the call. And I also, the second guy, I like it because in this case, it's a guy that's been looking to get in for being the head honcho for an organization.
Yeah, I mean, Kirby Wilson, I don't think that was a name that was on many people's list of expectations or seeing somebody come in. But I mean, when you look at the experience that he has in the NFL, 23 years as a running back coach. We're talking the Patriots. We'll call them the football team, but the Redskins, the Buccaneers, Steelers, Vikings, Browns, Cardinals, Raiders. You have Raiders. Yep. That's a lot of teams. That's a lot of experience. And one of the cool things is when you have a lot of experience, at least as one of those secondary coaches, you're learning a lot also from the guys that are head coaches and the supporting cast around you. So, imagine being a player coming into that in-between zone, in between college, in between NFL, and learning from a guy that has worked with the number of people that he's worked with in the NFL. You would imagine he's got, like me, 2 sleeves that are both full of tricks, just looking at the amount of people and the time span in which he's worked there, right? So, This is a great fit. Wasn't necessarily on people's list or radar, but sign him up. I think this is a great pick for the USFL.
Yeah, he's been slowly climbing up the ladder. If you're looking at his coaching tenure, started out coaching at Pasadena Community College and really worked his way through the college ringer all the way up into just being consistently on the pro level ever since he made it with New England in 1997. So he's been either a running backs coach or sometimes a wide receivers coach. He actually, he was in the community college scene with Los Angeles Southwest Community College. He was a quarterbacks coach for a time. So very much offensive minded. I'm assuming when you're finally into the NFL level, you start getting some ideas, you compile things that you like from your tenures, and he's kind of been through the ringer, like same spot really at RB coach since 2002 in the NFL. And he did take a year off last year. He was with the Raiders last stint, as we were talking about. But I think this is someone that, you see has been in the NFL for a time. He's seen the pro scene. Now it's someone that I think you can take as a gamble. Yeah, he's not as well known as a head coaching pick. Like, it's not like a Mike Riley or a Todd Haley like we saw in the last, but it's someone that I think is enough experience for so many years to where it's like, we can take this chance and get him in here and let him have a chance as well. He also has a connection with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hey, he's coaching the Maulers. So I don't know about you, but getting the local scene a little bit on board too, that connection can help a little bit. And I think that was another piece that adds to the puzzle. Let's put him with the Maulers. That Pittsburgh connection from part of his coaching tenure connects as well. And it just fits. I like it. And it's also like the workers mentality. The Maulers are trying to be that with like their name.
Right.
And the city itself that it's representing. So yeah, not flashy, but I like the experience backing him.
Another solid pick. Again, looking at the coaches that we got so far, again, we didn't get what we were promised or even what we wanted, but we got two coaches that were solid picks. I mean, there's a lot of guys that they could have brought in. I mean, I always think it's mean to say things like this, but let's be honest. And I hope he's not one of the last two if I say this, but if like Mark Trestman was announced,
God, no.
You know, everybody that was a Vipers fan or not a Vipers fan in the XFL would have been like, what are you doing? Now, please don't kill me if Mark Trestman is, I hope.
I don't want to see that man get another 10-year. And I'm a Bears fan that got to live through his own NFL days. Like we've ran the course. Okay. He had some good years in the CFL. He won Grey Cups. We can move on. Please do not bring him back into another league. It's fine. I don't need to see him back in. I can live without him.
I don't think there's enough tight ends around to satisfy his needs. I mean, again, sorry to get off.
Or rotating quarterbacks.
Right. Well, again, sorry to get off topic here. Again, looking back at the XFL draft, one of the things that amazed me the most is the amount of tight ends that Mark Trestman picked and the fact that June Jones picked 0. Both of them CFL guys, right? They come in and they just said, I'm taking all of them and I'm taking none of them.
None of them.
So anyway, we're getting off topic here. All in all. Go on.
Yeah. I mean, that was a 2. I'm just saying. So there's your 2. Now I've been waiting to get here, and I'm finally into this portion that I have to be the guy, and I'm going to establish that, hey, we're not just going to be these, all sunshine and rainbows, USFL, everything's hunky dory. We look at your guys' talk about it. We know about the crunch. We know there's 85 days right now till the league starts, and we know that they're on thin ice when it comes to PR and social. This blunder with the press releases that happened for Colin Cowherd's The Herd with saying it's 4, then it's 2, and not really clarifying it unless it's one of us in the media where we have to go in, get some sort of pseudo clarification that doesn't really tell you much about why they did it. It's a joke. Mm-hmm. That is a joke. The alternative football, spring football, whatever you want to call it, it's already on thin ice with general audiences for just the fact that it exists, that even somewhat in people's mindsets challenges that. And any slight towards it, any little nick or bump that it comes along the way hurts it. This case, a press release like this, one that is basically fumbled because you could have paused this. You don't have to say anything in the morning. It was released 3 hours before the Herd. You could have waited till tonight, as we're recording on a Thursday, to drop it on Friday and then properly know who you're going to have. This was avoidable. And they made it so much worse with how they did it. Plus, they aren't really communicating as much, and they like to keep it close to the vest. So, of course, we don't know what the hell's going on if it messes up on a press release. This is stupid. This whole situation was completely avoidable. It was stupid. And I myself, if I was in the position of whoever is handling PR and gave the go-ahead, I'd be kicking that person's ass right now because that should not have happened at all. And that press release shouldn't have gone out unless you know damn well you are knowing when it's out that it is 100% without a fact, triple checking yourself that all 4 of those coaches are available and that you're going to do it. So don't half cock yourself and go in there blazing.
So I do want to say just a couple things to clarify, just so nobody out there rips our heads off. But rather than press release, media advisory, point still stands. The ball was dropped. I only bring that up. Trust me, Zach, I've been on the internet a long time. I know when the pitchforks are coming. But either way, the fact of the matter is, like I said earlier, what I put out an article saying that the next 4 head coaches were going to be released. Then I saw the tweet. Then I think it was during the Herd that he on the Chiron, it mentioned that 2 were coming. We had reached out to some sources that we have close to the league. They said, look around, last minute decision change. We decided to only go for 2 today. But I mean, I did have to do a double take. I was very concerned that I wrote the wrong thing. And I mean, just as much as I was concerned about that, somebody is probably either not in a good mood at Fox or the USFL, or there's somebody in trouble. There is some break in communication down the line. We'll get into it in the speculation zone on why maybe. But ultimately, yeah, I think you hit the points. It's not a great look. When we look at, I mean, let's be real here. The last 2 guys to hit the spring football market, like really, was the AAF and the XFL. The XFL is coming back, but neither of them survived. Different reasons. We're not going to go into that. But you're already asking a lot for fans, everyday fans, not spring football fans, to buy in a third time.
And you have to put that distinction. Like, I'm glad you did that, because we have to stress, like, if you're watching this show, I mean, most of you probably are diehards, or you're at least curious about the league. There is an entire populace that if you say football, NFL is the only thing they recognize. Anything else, it's like, what the hell is this? So you are trying to do your best to show that you can win these people. You know, I mean, yeah, it ticks us off as diehards that we see this stuff and we're like, what the hell is your problem? But like, for some people, they're like, oh, well, guess I can discredit this. You know,
right.
If you can't run it professionally, why does it even matter? That's what annoys me and gets me frustrated, you know, the most. You know, that it's a nick on them because they could have avoided it and kept it flowing in the right direction.
Now, I do have, again, once we get to the speculation zone, I might have a positive spin on this. Again, some negative ones too. I got some positive ones. But here, I think it's just unfortunate. Like you said, it should have been avoidable. It's a situation that we're going to deal with. The benefit is, not benefit, but the reality is, if the league presents good football this fall, that can be forgiven. And I think they have the opportunities to do that.
That absolutely helps.
But if they have a couple more of these missteps in the way, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for people to get on board. People, I mean, even me running the silly website that we have, it only takes one typo for somebody never to come back to my site again. Right. And so knowing that, I can imagine something like this is amplified times 10. Right. Mm-hmm. We are seeing, I mean, was Arden. I'm sorry, by the way, Arden on Twitter.
Yeah, that's for both of us, really. But absolutely.
He is, I mean, he will be the first to tell you he's kind of on the fence, still supporting the league. I love to see that. But I mean, if you start losing those people on top of the people that you're trying to gain, that can become problematic. But again, it's nothing that good football can't fix. It's nothing that being solid from here on out can't absolve, right? People will forget little mistakes. You have to limit them. And I mean, quite honestly, we've seen the league hold things close to their vest, but I don't want, at least what I can remember, I can't think of any other time that they've made a mistake like this. Am I wrong?
It's not. I don't think they've made a PR release like this. I mean, they made small, like, at least design errors. I know they have the calendar, of course. You know, even with honestly, what added on today is as well, after they announced Wilson and Holtz, is some of the graphics. They had misspellings, like someone misspelled Birmingham on the Stallions when they had to re-release that, or one of the tweets had a little bit of an error, which, you know, it just compiles a bit. It's really their big oopsie, a goof, if you will, I call it. It wasn't pretty, and you know, people are going to hold that standard, and also this gets piled on more because they're not really active on social. So anything that comes out gets like magnified by 10, right, because they aren't all the time pumping things out. If you see a tweet from the USFL, you know right now it's got to be something big they're putting out there that they are going to be talking about at this point. It's an announcement,
right? So
you hang on that every word that much more if you like this league. And so it hurts that much more when they do stuff and they fumble it. No pun intended for the football, right? But they really did fumble the bag.